Welcome to Foundry Early Access. My name is Nilaus and this is an introduction to a brand new factory game just hitting Early Access on Steam right now. Thank you to Paradox Interactive for sponsoring this very first video of Foundry, and check out the link below for more information. What is Foundry? Well, the simplest and easiest description is that it's a first-person voxel world factory game. The developers say that they're inspired by modded Minecraft, and that is evident when looking at it. Some things are familiar from the factory genre, such as belts and inserters, while other things are unique later on, such as modular buildings and trade routes. I played this game before on the channel to showcase it, so this video will be focusing on how to play it, how to get a great start so that you can play it effectively yourself. I'll be skipping a lot of the tutorial dialogue and focus on effectiveness, as you can expect from this channel. I will also be streaming Foundry on Twitch on release day and many other days in the future if there's an interest for it. So if you are interested in the video and want to see more, then please hit the like button and consider subscribing. Let's dive into the game. So here we are in the game, and what the objective will be for this very first episode is that we start with basically nothing at all, our little lander here, and by the end of it we will have a fully functional base with automated of the main common things that we're going to be using. Loaders, belts, assemblers, all that stuff will be at the end of it, somewhere maybe in that direction. So the first thing we want to do is, well, we have our scanner, we're going to scan, we get some objectives. There is a tutorial here, which I think is good and you should follow it, but you don't need the tutorial because you have me. So we're going to be starting to mine some things and get started on the very basic stuff. So with our first mined materials, we go back here to our landing pad and we insert it here into the smelter. We can take all the stuff that's processed, we put it in the techno rods here. This is basically our starter smelter, so we can smelt the materials, the raw ore, into the final products. Then we start working on the actual platform. This is a really cool idea that I wish other games would adopt satisfactorily, and that is to have powered platforms. So basically what I want to do is I want to make sure that this is the level. We have both this location, which is what's it called? This is called Technum, and the other one is called Xenoferrite. And I want the Xenoferrite because the Xenoferrite is much more important in the beginning. So what we do is we craft some of these platforms, and then we can actually build them. And I'm not going to build them at this level. I'm going to build them at this level here. Just one up. Oops. And they are. It's nice to build it, but it's also just, yeah. So this is it. Everything on this platform will be powered by all the power that goes onto the platform. This is brilliant. So when it comes to smelting or mining, actually first we have here, you can see that up above the green icon, we have 53 mining blocks in range. And as you go out here, it gets less. The more mining blocks you have, the longer time it can do, and also the more it can do. If you sort of place it right in the middle, then it works even better, but then you're going to be blocking something with the inputs and outputs. So I do this sort of on the side, and then I take some other ones on the other side. This will, this has no power, so we are going to start by making a little bit of power for this. And let's build that here. I can take one more, and I like that. So I will be making some 1, 2, and I actually want 3, and that's the one we're just crafting now. I can put power in here. Power in this is biofuel, so when you don't have anything else to do in the beginning, just go out and mine some, not stones, they won't give you anything, but mine some trees like this. And you will have a lot of idle time in the beginning because you're waiting for things to work. There we go. This one contains 4 little drones. They're going to go out. They will have like a schedule, going out, charging, going out, picking up stuff, coming back with more stuff like this. And I will do here. Another thing that you can also do is you can do the Q button, so that you can actually just, if I took this one out, Q, if you hover over something, press Q, then you get that in hand, like Factorio. Very nice. And you'll use that probably more often than the shortcuts. I think that's at least how I want to do it. We're going to be making a little bit bigger location here, because the next thing we want to do is build the very first smelter, and it has to be built at a distance of 4 away from this one, because this needs to be built with now belts and inserters or loaders in this game. So a loader is this block here. It is either inbound or outbound. This one, it will then automatically decide that it is an outbound. Brown is outbound and blue is inbound. So if you do that, it'll do as an inbound. Then it needs, you can see they will try to put on the belt or put on something. They'll put on the belt. So you make the belt from here to here. It's one of those things that I think is a little bit clunky, that it goes from machine to loader to belt to belt to loader to machine. Like, couldn't we just have one that goes from loader, some machine to machine? But anyway, it is what it is, and you can do it sort of make them next to each other and go sort of out on the side. This is how we do it for now, just to get this thing going. Oh, and there's not a lot of room for us, but this gets us a little bit of plates, and plates are what we need for moving forward. Then we have to do the same thing over on the other side for the technum ore, and we also want to make 4 smelters, so we just do a little bit of extra infrastructure for this. If we look at this part here, here, this is producing last yield for the last minute was 60, and this one can consume 20, so it'll basically be 3 of these and also 3 of them on the other side. So let's build a little thing for that now that we have the very first thing automated. All improvements have been made to our base here, and we are now just going here, pick up for these 3. Always build I recommend build the xenoferrite first, because you need that for a lot more for infrastructure, while the technum is used, I think, less for infrastructure and maybe more for science. And speaking of science, that's what we're going to do now. We are going to be building a thing here. This is a research server. And again, panels on the side, really nice. We can always just check the grid status if we feel so inclined. Also other things, like the map. There's a really nice map. I wanted to show them, wait for showing the map until we actually have something on the map. You can see our resources. This is tapped, this is untapped. It's also unreachable. We have some resources out here we don't know. We don't have some resources out here, but we can also see our buildings, so we can actually see the infrastructure, which is pretty cool. Again, very nice feature to have here. Let's click on the research. This is the tech tree, and it's big. There's a lot of things here, and that's all the stuff that we can unlock. We're going to be asked to start with the research emergency beacon, so I am going to put things in here. Just put as much as we can, and then we get the emergency beacon. When we get the emergency beacon, there we'll need to plop something down, and I think that this is where we'll actually let Carl, the assistant, play out a little bit so you can see what it is, and then I'd like to get your inputs on what you think of it. So let's get the emergency beacon researched and then throw it down. And placing the beacon, let's see what that does for us, and we'll need to click the button to actually summon some things.
Now you might want to take a step back and look up.
We'll look up. And here we go. I love those cartoonish explosions. They're really nice.
This corporate command companion bureaucrat bot, C3BB for short, will help us establish a connection with Mission Command. First, let's help him out of that drop pod by deconstructing and placing it in a safe location.
Alright, here it is.
Welcome to the ground, C3BB. We have activated this emergency beacon because we are having trouble communicating with Mission Command. Critical damage on the Mission Command space station, you say? Spontaneous explosive disassembly. That's extremely troubling. What now? Are we trapped here? That aligns with our disaster contingency protocol. C3BB, initiate a thorough analysis of the incident. We'll integrate your extended blueprint archive with our research servers and construct a self-sufficient manufacturing facility capable of providing emergency aid.
Okay, so now there's this weird bot. I think if you are around my channel long enough, you know what I think about this kind of thing. Carl was annoying enough, but a bleep blob, a cute bot, I don't know. It seems like it's... I don't know. It doesn't seem like something that caters to the average factory connoisseur, but maybe that's just me as an old grumpy man. Let me know in the comment section below if you think this is cute or cringe. We can talk to it, and then we can pet it. So all these things that you would expect from a modern game, and we can then they will also have like quests or things that we'll then follow up with. But it only says beep boop.
We need a machine that is able to craft
and then we
common
get
items.
additional
I'm glad you have the blueprint
missions
stored.
here.
Let's go ahead and
Let's
research the assembler.
Let's skip the bleep bloop bot for now and then focus on factory making. Cool. So that is what we are going to be focused on. We now have assembler. We go to research. We can now do assembler. That seems like a logical thing. After that, we can also go in and get a basic infrastructure, which means we can get a logistics chest. Once we have some assemblers, we're going to be building the very first little teeny tiny automation for the basic stuff. Let's make a little bit more automation. I made a little platform here that we can work on, and this will be our first assembler setup. The first thing I want to do is basically I want to say you right click, then it's an output. Yes, like this. And I will build it. Let's build it like this. There. And then we go and build the first thing. This. I'm going to build it like that. So what is the first thing I want to build? I only want to build science and one more thing, and that's the building blocks, because we're going to need like a silly amount of building blocks. So let's get those right now. And I need to get this in over here, and then get it into a box. That would be like so. And then one of these is there. And I'm gonna need to get the xenoferrite and the technum plates. So use the Q button. Actually, let's use that one because that makes it an inbound. There. So that gets an. Okay, that did not work. There, inbound. So that's one of them. The next thing I want to do is I want to make a server. Let's also make that close because I'm gonna need a little bit more space. And that. And let me just see if I have room for it before I commit. Good. So this server needs, we're just going to have one, and that needs these science packs. So I'm going to make science packs here. Science packs require technum, and it requires the machinery parts. So I'm going to need to have one that makes machinery parts. It's kind of ironic that I built it all the way over here, but that's just how it is. Make machinery parts, and that means you need to get an inbound here. And I also need to make more of these, for sure. This part about Z is for clearing your inventory. So that's good. And then I'm going to do here. That's output. And you're going to be going on the back side because we don't have long inserters yet. So it goes all the way over to this location. And that's now an input there. And it will also input to this one, I think. Yes. So now we hear the clonk clonk from the assemblers, and that's now output. So now it's outputting. You can't see it, but it's outputting the machinery parts going in here, and that should start working. I'm going to be doing this as an output there, and then used as an input here and there. You get used to the commands. It's a little weird, but you, like all things, you get used to it. So this is working. It's working at a rate of 40 per minute, and this is consuming at a rate of 20 per minute, so we can have 2. And this is working. You can see the progress bar here, and it goes over here eventually, and then we just need to start some more research. What do we want to research? Well, I want to work straight towards the ignium, and then after that I want the burner generator, because that's what we really need. So that's going to be the next step. Ignium processing or ignium scanning is now complete, and that means we can scan for ignium, and lo and behold, it's out here. So I need to make a go in here and to that one, get all of my produce things, and then make a nice path over there. And I'm just gonna make it from here and just make a slim path, because that will also carry our electricity. And then we need to chop a lot of well, we need to chop a little bit of trees to keep power going, but I also need to now dig out this ignium so we can start mining it once we have the next research, which will be the coal generator, which is also going to be taking a while. We've dug out the ignium. It is taking a while to minecrafting this whole damn thing, but hey, we do it, and we built 2 miners so we can get a nice amount here. This will be here, and then I'm going to be flipping it here and here. I'm going to be making inbounds, because right now the first thing we want to do is just make it into a little box, and that box is here. There. So that means now we have ignium coming in here. Well, we don't, not until we do these 2 as outbound. There we go, and we get ignium. Perfect. Now we need ignium to go into some power plants. How big is the power plants? I don't know. Let's do like this, and then build some. Where are they? They are here. I built 5 of these, and let me see, that will come out. Let's make it here. Right. And because that will be belt down that side, and that will be output, and then I'll be making input. And let's do more of these. 2, 3, 4, and oh wow, this is perfect. 5. Nice. That was all I wanted. And this is going to be now an intake, and this is going to be an intake and an intake, and the last one intake. That's all we want. Oh, and we had exactly the right amount of everything. That is glorious. So now, can I put something in? Let's take a look at this. Now these each are producing 1.8 megawatt, and it's at 80% efficiency, which means that each of these things here, they are let's see, can I look at this item? No, I can't. Manage inventory. There. Okay, 10 megajoule is each, and the belt this is mining at, well, 60 plus 60, that's 120, so it could per minute, that's going to be 2 per second, so that will be 20 megajoule outbound. That would be with the 80% efficiency, or that's 80, sorry, that's 20 megajoule per second, which would be 20 megawatt, and it's at 20% productivity, so it would be like 16 megawatt I could get, and I built 5 of these, which is 9. So this should be able to support 16 megawatt with just a setup, but I only tapped 9 megawatt. Perfect. With that means basically just means that we don't have to worry about power for a long time, and that means now the thing that we want to do is we want to scale up, just sort of. If we look at these are working at 20 per minute, and I can have a belt is 80, no, 100 and come on, check it, 160 per minute. Where does it say that? 160 per minute, yes. So 8 smelters to 1 full belt. And since there are tier 2 belts in the not so distant future, I think I want this main stuff on the bus to be, oh, I mentioned my secret tech here. Surprise, surprise, that is going to be a bus build. Then I want to build 8 smelters, but make room for 8 more. I want to make 8 smelters and make room for 8 more, and then get started on building a bus that way, because it's nice and flat. Now we're ready for our bus to be started, and what we have out here is 8 smelters for technum, 8 smelters for xenoferrite, and then I've made room for another one, and then I start the bus here. That means all we need to do now is get started on getting some output here. Get that output, and this one gets some output. There. We are, however, currently using way too much of our xenoferrite for this part here. Yes, absolutely. It's kind of just has to be like this for now, because hey, I need to expand. As you can see out here, there's lots and lots of room, and we need to pave out there, pave the world. So the way I am going to make my bus, there we go. I need a lot of that. We also need a lot of that, and let's get some assemblers as well. Definitely need some of that, and some boxes. Yeah, there's some boxes. Good. Oh, do I have that? Anyway, now we don't have any resources anymore. So I'm gonna build the bus at level 1, and I'm gonna do that because it makes it so much easier to branch it off from here. Wow, that was not a lot of belts I actually built. And then we need to start working on what do we want to branch off the bus. So we need to make some decisions on what it is I want. For example, I want blocks, I want conveyors, there, here, these things here, all of the conveyor stuff, all of the inserter stuff. Do I want biomass burners? No. Burner generators? No. Drone miners? No, not really. I don't think I need those in stupid quantities, but assemblers, yes. Smelters? Maybe. Logistics containers? Yeah, I think. And the thing is, if we look at it, xenoferrite plates, machinery parts, and electronic components. So that's 3 items. Here's the same items, the same items, the same items, the same items. Oh, this one has technum rods. So there are actually 4 items that we need in total that will be at all necessary. And xenoferrite plates and technum rods, but those are not what we want to make. And yeah, these 3 are the same. No technum rods here, no technum rods, but electronic components. So I think we want to make these intermediates first, the wire coils, the electronic components, and the machinery parts. So we get those on the bus, and we're going to be making some kind of some kind of generic design for this. And since we have that already located, then that will be probably our baseline for. Yeah, so then we need to make. And let's see. I'm first going to show you how to do the branch off the bus, because that's the main part of this. And this will be changed to a downward sloping. So I will make the first bus slope down here. Just don't want to make it too close. So I'll remove one, remove two, and then I'll make a splitter here. So this goes up. So it kind of works like in Factorial, where we have a belt and then we just split it off to go to the side. And this one has been misplaced a little bit, and I just need to find the location here, and that will now be the inbound. So, and honestly, that's not actually the one I want first, so we'll be rebuilding it again over here, of course, because I want to make, let's see, 5, that one here, and you're down sloping, and you're in. Good. And we'll just pick up this from the bus, from the belt here. And that is now a branch off. And I will be going there. That's going to be the same alignment for this here. And then I'm going to make some inserters, or some assemblers. We should be getting, well, the assemblers are getting working now. How many assemblers do we want? I think we want 2 assemblers for each of these things just to start with, because I think that makes, it just makes sense that it's the good stage to start. And we're getting the first assembler here. That is right now. And I'm going to be pushing it here this way. So this assembler will make wire cords. That's the first input. It's going to be very simple. Output, I'll be getting it that one output, and getting it inbound here, and then getting it outbound on that one, and also outbound here, and outbound here. And can I build another one now? Yes, I can. We're gonna make the first of these, and this will now be inbound, in, and in. And I need to make sure here we have wire cords. This will now make, what does it say? It says 80 per minute. So 80 plus 80, that's 160, that's good. It goes into this box. How many do I want? I just saved 2 stacks. I don't know what I'm using it for, needing it for, but I have it now. And then I go over to this location and do an upslope here. And we now have one more thing on the bus. There we go. Next one we're going to be making is going to be, so now we need to figure out where the input should realistically be, because I do have some collision opportunities here. I think I want to make sure that there's room for 2 output belts, then an idle room, and then 2 input belts. That's the baseline, I think. That would mean, yeah, even then that's actually going to be too close. Yeah, because then it starts overlapping with the next. I think that's just not a great way to do it. So what I think I'll do instead, I'll just do the next one cannot branch until the first one has gone out. That's probably a much easier way to do it. It's going to use a lot more space, but ultimately right now it feels like space is in a premium, but it really isn't. There, and that's going to go in for the next one. I'll lead it exactly as far in, and then we'll get, oops, oh. Great. Now we know that was middle mouse button, in case you were wondering. Here and here. I'm gonna make one room between so I can have lights and stuff like that between. This is gonna make this one machinery parts. They make 40, and I might need more than this. And machinery parts here as well. Then the output belt goes out here, and it goes all the way out to extra line, upslope, and some. Let's do the intake first. Wow, that was silly. So we moved the whole damn thing. So moved it over by 1. Now we are having machinery parts also working, and they will be put out here on our bus. The bus is slowly growing, and yes, I'll only be making stuff on one side, but on the other side it'll get bigger and bigger and bigger. And yes, it'll be a little bit silly at some point how far it has to go out. But I don't care. I think it's fine. This will be, this is an infinite voxel world, so we can definitely continue to scale up. So what we need to do now is make the last of these ingredients, intermediate components, the electronic components. Let's make that. And then we can start making some ingredients for like a little hub for conveyors and also for building blocks. Oh, research complete. And also make a research build even. We'll get this one. It's probably nice. So I've set up the next thing. First we have all of these intermediates. Then I want to make some belts and stuff like that. So what I've done here is I have set up to make boxes. I have set up to make splitters, belts, and ramps. And those 4 kind of make sense because I've also just let things in here. So we can see here this one takes the electronic circuits. This one also takes electronic circuits. So I think we'll do this part here. They will take input and input. You will also over on this side. It'll take, I think it also needs both of those, right? And then the long-handed inserter and the long-handed inserter. Let's have a look. Does that make sense? Does everything get started? Yes, it's building in... It's not working. That's because it doesn't need that one. Doesn't need that one. But it does need to get some of these parts, the belts. Alright, so let's get the belts going. That is going to be and this here and this here. Alright, so we now get the belts. Well, what do we need the belts for? Well, we need belts to go over there. We need belts to go over there. And then we need belts to go over this side. What do I mean by that? We also need to have boxes here. And I'll need to have a box here. And I'll need to have a box here. And I'll need... Whoa. Let me think. This one. Box there and a box there. Yes, so that is, let's go here. I will get an output. And then I'll get an input. And that gets now conveyors in here. So now we can start picking up conveyors. I will also be doing out here and out here. So that means they will all be put out on all those different belts. Ideally they should be. Why not? Why not indeed? What are we missing? We're missing input. Oh, that's a staff belt. Well, that's kind of expected. We need to unstaff it or make it a little bit better. Now, what we also need to do here, this one has all that it needs. So we're going to do a research complete. Then the question, oh, right, this is actually, these need to go one back. Here. There, one back. And now that I'm here, then I think I actually preferred it to have them over there. And you're going to be an input, like so. And it's a little bit silly way of doing this, but it, oh, they're now completely opposite. There you go. You're outputting. And you're inputting, and then very important for these kind of things, I only want to ever be able to pick up one stack of that. And we can take all this out. And this will now be a long-handed inserter and a short inserter. And then we'll just flip those, and yeah. There, and there. And that means a long-handed inserter here, and a short inserter there. And again, flip them so they make sense. Down here. And remember the belts underneath. Belts underneath. And did we get to remember the belts on? Yeah, we must have, since it works. And this one is the final one. Then I'm gonna build it here. Like the Q, hovering over and pressing Q is really nice. Really nice. And that's here. So you're gonna be grabbing this inbound, and you're gonna be pushing this maybe outbound. It's kind of easier just to figure out afterwards. Just get them here. So we can see, like, on this side, okay, the brown ones and the blue ones. Weird that they chose those colors. And this will only need to go one stack. This needs to go one stack. It's nice that we can constrain them. And this is going to be belts, so that's fine. And they are just not really coming in, are they? And this is... So the first one is all three. Second one is not the belts. And this is here. And the last one what are you gonna do? You are gonna be also not this. And it's great. So we just intake and... So that's kind of how we make a, what some people like to call a hub, bus, but I call it a hub. We now have these things available. Well, if we could just get a little bit better production, it's because they are being consumed for other things down the line. Once those buffers fill up, then it'll be flowing a little bit better. But it's also for science and also for just a constant production of these construction parts, because we keep wanting to scale up here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to build pretty much the same one as that over here for some of the remaining parts. And then we have everything we really need to scale up our production. And here we are at the end of the first episode of Foundry. Thank you very much to Paradox Interactive for sponsoring this very first video of this hopefully long series, if there's an interest for it. I'll be streaming this, continuing from right here at tonight, if you're watching it on launch day, on Twitch TV/Nilaus at 8 p.m. Central European Time. So that's where I'm going to be continuing on this and continue to scale up. This I just wanted to give you a really nice look at this. We have our bus, we're got down here, and then I have my hub here where we can just go in for whatever we need of various things. Just makes it so much easier for us to expand and build anything we want. And at some point this will also settle in, and let's see. Oh, that's actually, we want more of that. We want lots of belts, because we're going to be doing lots of belts here. So what you can see is a very nice factory game, and very much interesting to play. And I hope that we can continue to go. Remember to answer my question about this little beep blop thing in the comment section. Is it cute or cringe? What do you think? And of course, if you are a Patreon supporter, you can also download the save game, so you can get a great start with this if you don't want to build all this yourself, but you're thinking like, that is a perfect way to get started on my game. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you for supporting. Remember to hit the like button. That helps a lot with the visibility. Leave a comment. Consider subscribing if you feel like it. Then you can keep up to date with more stuff coming out on the channel. Thank you for watching. Until next time, take care and stay effective.